Let's proceed further. Germanic was divided into two different segments, East Germanic and West Germanic. As this is British English, so West Germanic was also divided into two further segments, High Germanic and Low Germanic. High Germanic has given birth to German language, and Low Germanic has given birth to English and Dutch language. So, as per the chronology, English language is divided into three different sections. Beginning from the 1st century up to 5th century, the English spoken in that particular time was known as Latin English, Old English. From 5th to 15th century, the period of English is known as a middle phase of English. And from 15th century onward, it is addressed as Modern English or New English. So in this way, this is the brief birth history of English language. Let's proceed further. If we try to understand, if we try to know language better, there are 5 different methods and levels to understand language, which we call the methods of linguistic analysis. Linguistics, which is associated with language, remember. The first method to understand language is phonology. It is the study of the sound pattern in English, how the sounds and the words are pronounced. This is the exact and systematic study. So this is called as phonology. Second is morphology. Morphology is nothing but the scientific study of how the words are formed in English. And the third is syntax. It is associated with the study of grammar in English. And the fourth is lexical, which deals with vocabulary. And the fifth, which is the most mature level to understand the language, the study of language concerning its meaning. And so this is known as semantics. I repeat, the first level is the phonology, second morphology, third syntax, fourth lexical, and the fifth is semantics. So these are the 5 methods of linguistic analysis. Let's proceed further with the introduction of the very first method to understand the language. It is phonology. As I told you, this is the study of the systematic and scientific study of how the sound and the words are pronounced in English. So let's begin with the first word. We call this word B-O-Y, boy, in Indian English. In fact, I have denoted the transcription of the given word here. It is boy in RP, means received pronunciation from the southern part of England. In UK, this is pronounced as a boy, and not as boy. So here they use a diphthong. The second, it is a common and general mistake in Indian speakers. When they say this word, we say question. But this is not question, remember. The exact pronunciation of this word is question. Remember this. And this is the common mistake that we commit. It is not question, it is question. The third word in the series, we say college. I want to attend the college. You know, college is not the exact pronunciation. The correct pronunciation is the college. In the same way, knowledge is also studied and said as knowledge and not as knowledge. It is knowledge, college. The next word, when I was SSC and HSC student at that time, I read this word as a studious. It is not studious, it is a studious. Studious is the exact pronunciation of this word. The next word, now again, this is the general word that we use in day-to-day conversation. Education. We pronounce it in Indian culture, but the right pronunciation of this word is education. Education. Remember this. So this is very important thing to speak the words in the correct way. The next word, we say it development in Indian context, but the exact and the accurate pronunciation of this word is not a development, it is a development. Wherever there is ME to remember, we have to pronounce it as a ment. For example, management. Management is the exact pronunciation. So let's proceed further. The 7th word in the series. I was in the merit list of Nasik board when I was HSC student. At the time, my teacher asked me to read this word, and I read it as onomatopeic. onomotopia, like this. I was entirely wrong at the time. And the right pronunciation of this word is onomatopoeia. Remember this. This is not onomotopia or onomatopoeia. This is onomatopoeia, which is the exact and the right pronunciation of this word. This is one of the figures of speech which resembles production of the sound. And the eighth word, we call it a police in Marathi, police in Hindi, and police in English. So we have to pronounce it as a police in English. So the first level associates with sound pronunciation is phonology. The second is morphology. As I told you, that morphology is the scientific and systematic study of how the words are formed in English. The word formation technique is known as English morphology. There are a major and minor process of word formation. So let us study in brief. The first is affixation. Affix means to attach something. There are three types of affixation as follows. The first is prefix. Prefix means to attach before the word. For example, if I say faithful and I attach un before the word, it becomes unfaithful. A new word is formed. So un, non, in, is, and a are negative prefixes which indicate negation, that means not. So it is not faithful, means unfaithful. So un is negative prefix. The second is infix. To infix means to attach in between the word. And the best example of this is, we say kangaroo. I attach bloody in between. Kanga, bloody, roo is the example of infix. The next is cups full. When I pronounce this word in the plural, it is cup plus s sound and ful it attached. So cups full is the example, s sound, that s is infixed here. Next is a suffix. Suffix means to attach after the word. For example, the root word is faith. I attach ful to it, after it, and the new word is formed, faithful. So faithful is a base word, remember, and this is the use of suffix. So I repeat, affixation, there are three processes: prefix, infix, and suffix. The next is compounding. Compound, two base words come together and form a new word. For example, bed plus ride becomes bedridden. Tea plus pot becomes teapot. The third process is conversion. And these only class changes. For example, the spelling remains same. When I pronounce object as verb, I have to pronounce this word as object, object. And when the same spelling, I pronounce it as a noun at the time, I have to say this as object, object. Remember, when I say verb, object, and when I say noun, object. So this is conversion. It's changing the class only. There are minor processes of word formation. The first is acronym. Acronym simply means it is a short form of the word. So it is.
Excuse me, sir. Who is there?
Yeah,
please, please mute your.
Yeah, let's proceed further. Acronyms. Acronyms mean short forms. For example, we say UNESCO. This abbreviation is called as a word separately. UNESCO is a United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization. TV stands for television. This is the abbreviation TV, invented by John Logie Baird, the great scientist. AIDS means acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. So acronyms are a short form of the words. Next is blending. We blend, we mix and amalgam the two different words. For example, transfer plus register becomes transistor in English. Breakfast plus lunch becomes brunch. And hotel plus motor becomes mortal. So these are the examples of blending, remember. The next minor process of word formation is clipping. Clip means to cut. We say fridge, but actually the exact word is not fridge, it is a refrigerator, remember. We cut Re in the beginning and ater at the final level, final position, and we only pronounce in between. Freeze is the short form. It is clipping, that means to cut the word into pieces. Next word is, we say flu. In fact, this is influenza, influenza, but we say flu only. The fourth is reduplicatives. It means to use the words having similar sound. For example, wishy-washy, higgledy-piggledy, crisscross, ding-dong. These are the examples of reduplicatives. So these are the minor process of word formation in English. We have to remember this. First, acronym, second, blending, third, clipping, and the fourth is reduplicatives. Let us go ahead. The third level to understand the language of linguistic analysis is a syntactic study. It means the systematic study of grammar and language. There are two types of, there are two types of grammar. The first is prescriptive grammar and the second is a descriptive grammar. So prescriptive grammar, there are strict rules. We have to follow certain rules. You know, there is drilling on the mind of the students. They recite and learn the rules in prescriptive grammar, but this is not the case with descriptive grammar. Descriptive grammar presents us the explanation of the rule. And so there is certain difference between prescriptive and descriptive grammar. When I was speaking student at the time, when I entered inside the classroom and attended the class of grammar for the very first time, my teacher taught me, remember Atul, grammar is not prescription of language, this is the description of language. So I still remember it. So this study, syntax study, grammar in the language. The fourth level to study the language is lexical study, which is associated with vocabulary. When I say Ganpati Visarjan in Marathi, I have to say it is the immersion of a Ganesha idol, or it is the immersion of an elephant-headed god in the water. I should say like this in English. When I say railway rudavarun khali ghasarli in Marathi, I have to say this as a train derails in English. And when I say bahir paus padtoy in Marathi, it's raining outside, remember. So this is associated with the study, lexical study is associated with vocabulary. And I have mentioned three words here. When I was in the school at the time, I used the word famous. And when I became a research student at the time, I used the word eminent instead of famous. So we enrich our vocabulary by doing this. Second word is a catastrophe, is the word used instead of calamity. And the third, chandelier. Chandelier, remember, it is the selling fixture that we use. So in this way, we enrich our vocabulary and we can gain command over language. This is the fourth level to understand the language. And the fifth is a semantic study. Remember, it is the study of language concerning its meaning. So I quote a few lines. An American mystique poet, Robert Frost, his poem Stopping by Roots on a Snowy Evening is quite famous in English literature. And the last lines of the poem runs like this. Those lines were decorated on our Prime Minister's office when Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru was our first Prime Minister. Those lines were decorated in the office. So beautiful are the lines. The woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep and miles to go before I sleep and miles to go before I sleep. One plain meaning is there, one surface meaning, and one hidden meaning, one symbolic meaning is there. So we have to draw out the symbolic meaning. We have to interpret it, and this is the real semantics that we say in language and literature. Woods are lovely, dark and deep. It means the forest is indeed very beautiful, but I have to keep the promise. And before going to the sleep, I have to cross a lot of distance. It's a plain meaning, surface meaning, remember this. One hidden and symbolic meaning is that as the forest is dark and deep, in the same way, our life is very beautiful. It is dark and deep like the forest, having multiple colors. But you know, we have to keep certain promises. And before going to sleep, that means before going in the direction of death, which is the final and the ultimate truth of a human life, we have to perform the miraculous work and tasks assigned to us by God. And so is the hidden meaning here. The woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promised to keep and miles to go before I sleep and miles to go before I sleep. The second example for semantic study is this. It is the beginning of the famous novel Pride and Prejudice, published in 1813 by the famous British novelist Jane Austen. And the beginning of the novel is like this. It is the truth universally acknowledged that a single man in possession of a good fortune must be in a want of a wife. So as I told you in the very beginning that I am not a teacher, not a doctor of English, I am simple student of language and literature. I'm a little confused about the beginning of the novel. So please help me and tell me what can be the meaning of this beginning line in the novel. Yeah? Yes? Can anyone tell me? I read the line, I repeat the line. It is the truth universally acknowledged that a single man in possession of a good fortune must be in a want of a wife. What can be the meaning of this? Yes? Can anybody tell me the meaning of this? Yeah? So one plain meaning is this, that when a man gets education, when he settles down in the life, gets job and everything, he is in dire need of a wife, is a plain meaning, surface meaning. But hidden meaning is there, and what the writer intends, what the novelist intends is this, that when a girl stresses a boy for marriage, you know, she searches a wealthy and well-settled and well-educated bachelor for marriage is
So
the
the answers are in
intended
chat.
meaning by the writer.
The answers are given in chat box.
Okay, okay,
People
okay.
people are answering.
Okay, sir. Let me see. Let me check.
Hmm.
Chat box.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Just a minute. Okay, okay. Doesn't matter. Let's proceed further. So I want you a few words beginning with the spelling CH. Let's see the first spelling in the series. CHINA. The transcription and pronunciation of this word is China, China. Remember, CH means cho here, cho. CH means cho. When I say CHURCH as church, church, I use a CH, I pronounce CH as a ch sound. I've indicated in Marathi. When I say bench, again, this CH is ch here. But when I say CHAOS, when I pronounce the sound, it is not chaos. Remember, the pronunciation of this word is chaos. Chaos. That means to like commotion or disorder inside the classroom is known as chaos. So I'm a little confused that in the very beginning, CH was ch, but now here CH is k. For example, see the another example, trachea, trachea. Again here CH is k. See the next spelling, machine. And now here is also CH. When I pronounce this CH, it is a show here, show, not a ch and k. And the last word, seventh word, is a chandelier, chandelier. Here again, ch means show. So when I study English as a foreign language, I'm little confused whether to pronounce a ch as a ch, k, or sh, because three different sounds are attached to a single, what we say, alphabet or spelling. So there is great confusion in the mind of the foreign learners and speakers of the language. So in the book Bunsell and Harrison, one very beautiful line is given in the very beginning. There is no perfect correspondence between the spoken form of English and the written form of English. They are altogether different. And we have to drill this line in the mind. Remember this. This is the punchline in the thesis given. There is no perfect correspondence between the spoken form of English and the written form of English. Means there is a dire need to understand the reality that we are Indian speakers of the language. Graphical English means what we say, we write the English is a different English, and that we speak, spoken English is a different English. We mix it. We try to pronounce the word according to the spelling, and in this attempt we fail. And in that sense, English is a very funny language to study. It is very interesting, in fact. When I was in the very 5th standard, I want to mention an incident. My teacher was teaching me inside the classroom, and he taught us P-U-T, put. Okay. And the next word was B-U-T, but. So I was a little confused. I asked the teacher a query, a question. Remember, not a question. I asked a question to the teacher, sir, if you say that P-U-T, put, why not B-U-T, put, sir? Or if we say B-U-T, but, why not B-U-T, but, sir? And the answer I found in English Phonology. See here, alphabet is same, U, but the sound here is oo, per, oo, and t. Means oo means U, and U here is So two different sounds are attached to a single alphabet, and so there is confusion because there are 44 sounds in English and only 26 alphabets. So more sounds are attached to the limited alphabet, and so there is great confusion. Let us see the next word in the series. Pneumonia. Pneumonia. Per is silent there. Psychology is the next word. Again, per is silent there. Per sound. See the next word. So many teachers and the students, they pronounce this word as a tortoise. Tortoise. My teacher taught me this word as tortoise when I was in the school. But I was entirely wrong at the time. When I studied this, I came to know the reality that this word is not tortoise, this is tortoise. Tortoise is the exact pronunciation of this word. And we need improvement in our spoken English. See the words beginning with O again. Most of the Indian speakers say onion. This is onion. Onion means a sound is there instead of O alphabet. We pronounce it according to the spelling. Again, see the 7th word. Most of the speakers say Oedipus. This is the name of the king. King Oedipus. Oedipus. So O alphabet has two different pronunciations. O sound and E sound. And we have to study this in English phonology. One word again, we pronounce it in a wrong way, and most of the speakers say mythology in Indian context, in Indian culture here. It is not mythology, it is mythology. It is mythology. I asked the student, there one story, gift of the M-A-G-I spelling is there, and I asked the student, read the title of the story, and they say, sir, this is gift of the Maggie. It is not Maggie, it is Magi. Magi. The 3 wise people who brought present for the baby Jesus, Magi. So we come to the conclusion. One reality is this, that there is no perfect correspondence between the spoken form of English and written form of English. They are altogether different. We should try to understand this first. Let us turn towards the next slide then. To remove this confusion from the foreign speakers, in 1886, International Phonetic Association introduced 44 sounds international alphabet to us to remove the confusion regarding speaking English language among foreign learners. Only 26 alphabets are there from A to Z, and 44 sounds are there in English. So out of these 44 sounds, there are 20 vowels and 24 consonants. Let me tell you, 12 pure vowels. Pure vowels are known as monophthongs. Mono means single, that means one, and thong means the lament. See the spelling. These, here is long E sound is here. E, when I pronounce B-I-T, it is bit, E, short E sound is there. When I say bed, this is A sound. When I say bad, this is B, A, D. A sound is there. I have denoted it in Marathi also. This in slant lines, we transcribe the sound, the word. Here is bus. This is central A, B, A, S. So, bus, card, long A sound is there. Heart, short A is there. All, long A sound is there. Book, short U sound is there. Rule, again long U is there. Rule. The next word is sal, O sound is there. Account, O sound is there. And we come to know the reality here that three different pronunciations there of the one sound. A alphabet, as we have seen in account, in cell, and here in bus. So this is very interesting to study. The next is diphthong glides. Di means to and thong means the lament. Two vowels come together to form the diphthong glides. See here the spelling. We say gate in Indian English. This is kite, kite in foreign English. In RP, in received pronunciation from England, A sound is there. So bite here. It is the same pronunciation is there. I, bite, bite. Pile, I sound is here. I. We say home. We use monophthong, but they use a diphthong in England, and they say home, home. So O sound is here. House, ow sound is here. We say cheer in India. They say cheer, and the last R sound is silent. You can't, means it is not pronounced. So this is cheer, cheer. The next word is air. We say air here. We say air, air, air sound. A and O. The next sound is not poor. This is poor, poor, poor. So these are the 8 diphthongal glides. Diphthong is two vowels come together. When I was a graduate student at the final level, my teacher asked me, can there be a triphthong tool? Yeah, is there, means as there is a diphthong, can you cite me the example of triphthong? What do you think? Is there any triphthong in English? Why don't you cite me the example of that then? Yeah? Example of triphthong? Is there any? Yes, exactly, there is. When the three vowels come together, it is known as a triphthong in English. Remember this. When I pronounce the word fire, F, A, E, O. So this is the example of triphthong. Remember. So let's proceed further. Here we have studied diphthongs. This is the imaginary figure. This is vowel chart. These are back vowels. U, A, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 back vowels are there. These are the front vowels. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 front vowels. And 1, 2, 3 are central vowels. So this is vowel chart for the study of the students. Let's proceed further. There are 28, 24 consonants in English. And the consonants are segregated when divided into 2 further phases. The first is voiceless consonant. 9 consonants are there. Let's begin. P, T, K, Ch, F, Th, S, Sh, and H are voiceless consonant. When we pronounce these sounds, there is a less vibration in the vocal cords, and so is the reason these sounds are called as voiceless consonants in English. Here is the position of the vocal cords. Glottis are held apart, and there is less vibration, and so the sounds are called voiceless consonants in English. I repeat: P, T, K, Ch, F, Th, S, Sh, and H are voiceless consonants in English. Again, voice consonant. There are 15 voice consonant. I count them: B, D, G, J, J, V, D, Z, M, N, Ng, Y, R, L, V are voice consonants. See the position of the vocal cords. glottis come together. A slight partition is there. There is more vibration, more intensity of the sound. And so is the reason these sounds are called voice consonant in English. Let's proceed further. Let us study select concepts related to English phonology. The first is vowel. When I studied English phonology for the very first time, the question arises in my mind when my teacher taught me, Atul, remember, A, I, E, O, U are vowels. And I asked a simple question to my teacher, sir, why they are vowel? Why they are not consonants? So it was a logical question in my mind, The answer is hidden in English phonology itself. So what is vowel? It is the speech sound produced by humans when the breath flows out through the mouth without being blocked by the teeth, tongue, and lips. It means that when the aggressive pulmonic air stream passes through the oral cavity and when there is no disturbance to the sound in the oral cavity, that sound is known as a vowel in English. We can segregate it into two different segments, a short vowel and a long vowel. As I told you, short E, long E. Short E, bit and bit. Long E, bees. So in this way, this is vowel. Let us turn towards the next word, consonant. So consonant are produced by stopping the air from flowing easily through the mouth, especially by closing the lips, touching the teeth or to the tongue. It simply means that when the aggressive pulmonic air stream passes through the oral cavity and when there is complete closure or partial closure of the air in the oral cavity in the mouth, that sound is called as a consonant. There are two types of consonant, as I told you, voiceless consonant and voice consonant. Next concept is phonetics. Most of the students who study this subject called is as phonetics in India. This is phonetics. So phonetics is the study of the sound. It is concerned with the production, audition, that means listening, and perception, that means understanding of the speech sounds. Means roughly we can categorize phonetics into three different branches. Acoustic phonetics, which study the physical properties of sound. Auditory phonetics. This is the study of the way a listener perceives, that means understand the sound. And articulatory phonetics, which is the study of how the vocal tract produces the sound. So this is about phonetics. Let's turn toward the next word, phonology. Most of the Indian students say this is phonology here in India. This is phonology, remember. So phonology is what phonology describes the way sound functions within the given language and operates at the level of the sound system and abstract sound unit. So phonology is associated with the function of sound. Remember, it is restricted up to a single language. Let us study the next concept, phoneme. So it is pronounced as a phoneme, phoneme. The distinctive sound unit in English language is called phoneme. For example, p, t, k are distinct sound units. Voiceless consonants, b, d, g are voice consonant. Distinctive sound units are called phonemes in phonology. The next word, most of the Indian speakers say this is syllable, which resembles to syllabus. It is syllable. The exact pronunciation is syllable. It is a single unbroken sound of spoken word. Syllable usually contains a vowel and accompanying consonant. So syllable is nothing but the combination. It is amalgamation and coming together of two different vowel and consonant come together to form a syllable. For example, let's see the word boy, pie, b and oi. Diphthong and a consonant come together to form a syllable. This is monosyllabic word. Mono means single. So this is monosyllable. Boy. See the next word, Bible. There are two syllables, bhai and bal. So this is a disyllabic consonant, disyllabic word. The next word is examination. We say here in Indian context, this is examination. Examination. This is pentasyllabic word. Remember, ig, one syllable, z, second, me, nai, and shan. So 5 syllables are there. This is pentasyllabic word. So in this way, we studied syllable also. Let us turn towards consonant cluster. Cluster means a group. That means coming together. A consonant cluster is a group or sequence of consonant that appears together at the initial position or at the final position. For example, spots is a word. I have cited the example of this. In the beginning, s and p is there. So this is the combination of two consonants together. So addressed as consonant cluster at initial position. T and s in the final position. This is consonant cluster. Let us turn towards the next term, syllabic consonant. Instead of the vowel, when one consonant takes the place of the vowel, this is called a syllabic consonant in English phonology. A syllabic consonant is a consonant that replaces the vowel in a syllable. For example, bottle, cattle, L sound is there. Cotton, button, N sound is there. So N and L are syllabic consonants. Let us study the terms related with sociolinguistics, which are associated, closely associated with English phonology. The first is dialect. Dialect is nothing but group, what we say, a language spoken in a group language, community language. A regional variety of language distinguished by features of vocabulary, grammar, pronunciation from other regional languages. For example, American English, British English, and Indian English are the types of dialects, national dialects, what we say. The next term is idiolect. Idiolect is nothing but the personal style of speaking the language. An idiolect is a person-specific, unique way of speaking. Everybody has its own idiolect that differs from the way the other people talk. It depends upon the vocabulary. Idiolect is nothing but this personal style of expressing our thoughts in the language. So this is idiolect. Next term is pidgin. Pidgin. Pidgin language is a grammatically simplified means of communication that develop between two or more groups that do not have the language in common. And it is most commonly employed in situations such as trade. Simply, in simple words, when I visit some other country for trade purpose, we use borrowed words at a time for trade and commerce purpose. And so this borrowed language is known as pidgin in English. But when this pidgin becomes a mother tongue of the next generation at that time, this pidgin is addressed and called as a Creole in English. So Creole is nothing but the pidgin becomes mother tongue of the next generation. It is a natural language that develops from the simplifying and mixing of different languages into a new one within a fairly brief period of time. The next term is a register. It is the form of a language spoken by people having same profession. In simple words, the language used by the group of people having same profession is known as a register in English. For example, doctors have their own register: injection, capsule, operation theater, patient, ambulance. These words are often used by doctors. So doctors have their own register. The teachers have, for example, students, blackboard, benches, college, like this. So it is register. We have studied few concepts associated with English phonology. So here is a diagram figure drawn in the famous book, G. Balasubramanian's book, and R.K. Bansal's books also, Organs of Speech. How do we speak exactly? The speech mechanism. You know, when we speak, soft palate sometimes low down or sometimes it goes upward. Here is epiglottis, comes down and closes the windpipe. Here is food pipe. You know, we speak the language. Here are vocal cords, and it means the arrangement of the vocal cords differs in male and female. We have to study this. Okay, so this is the diagram which explains us, illustrates us how exactly means the process takes place while speaking the language. Let's proceed further. Transcription. Transcription. There are two types of transcription: word transcription and what we say sentence transcription. We say sentence. It is not sentence, it is sentence. Word transcription, we say sentence. The exact transcription and pronunciation is sentence. We say oratory sometimes here in Indian context, but the exact pronunciation of this word is not oratory, it is oratory. Oratory is the exact pronunciation of this word. The next is sentence transcription. I read the word in the sentence here. What country are you from? What country are you from? Is the question. I'm from Japan. I'm from Japan. Is the sentence transcription. Now we have to understand what is the exact difference between phonemic and phonetic transcription. When I teach this to the students as a teacher of English, you know, this is very essential to know this. Phonemic transcription, let's see, slashes are used while doing phonemic transcription. We use slant lines, which denotes sounds. In phonetic transcription, square bracket is used to denote transcription. Phonemic transcription is a broad transcription. That means what we say superfluous, outward transcription. Phonetic transcription is a narrow transcription and detailed transcription. Phonemic transcription is associated with the function of sounds. At the same time, phonetic transcription is characteristic of sound. So here are the few examples: trim, tenth, and clean. Here it is denoted in detail. So this is the difference between phonemic and phonetic transcription. Let's proceed further. The concept trace. There are two types of trace in English, primary and secondary. When I pronounce the word academic, I emphasize the while pronouncing it. So dam receives primary trace, accent and prominence given to the certain syllable is known as trace in English. So receives a secondary trace. Academic, apologetic, economic, explanation, deliberation, environmental, generosity, phenomenology are the examples. So there are two types of trace in English: primary stress and secondary stress. Let's proceed further towards, we say intonation here, but the exact pronunciation is intonation. There are three major types of intonation: falling tone. For example, in statement we use falling tone. I shall be back in a minute. We use it in commands. Write your name here. And in WH questions, requesting information. Questions beginning with who, what, why, where, when, which, and how. Where do you work, for example? And the fourth is exclamation. How nice of you. We use falling tone generally in statement and in command and in WH questions and in exclamations. In a rising tone, the first, in yes no type of question, that means in verbal questions. Have you finished already? In question tags, which shows uncertainty or doubt, which requires an answer, information. You like fish, don't you? In rising tone. When falling rising tone is here, which indicates hesitation and reluctance, for example. So you'd be willing to confirm that, well, I suppose so. You didn't see him on Monday. I don't quite remember. And polite request or in doubt and uncertainty, we use a falling rising tone. Perhaps we could visit the place. Should we copy the list? And an irony and satire, ridiculous, so we use it. I know that you are clever, you are beautiful. So this way, while it means satirizing someone, we use falling rising tone. This is what we say related to intonation in English. Then C, weak forms and strong form of articles. And most probably when we speak a sentence, the articles, auxiliary verbs, if they come initial position, they are most probably they are strong. Let's begin with the. When I pronounce THE before a vowel sound, I have to pronounce it as the army, the army. And when the same word is used before consonant, this is pronounced as a the and not the. Remember, the table, the army. So orthography here is the spelling system. In strong form, this is the, and in weak, the. I in strong form, in weak form. Am is strong, un or n in weak. This is what about articles. Then see the weak forms in strong form, auxiliaries. Auxiliaries are helping verbs. Seafaist, can, could, card, have, how, ow, were, has, us, z, had, hard, erd, donly, will, lonely, shall, lonely, should, must, do, does, are, was, where, were, when, short e, when. So these are the strong and the weak forms. I cite the example. If I say, can I come in, sir? If the teacher say, yeah, you can, and not can. So can becomes can when we use it in between the sentences. It becomes a weak. We have to remember this. Now stress change according to function. The spelling is the same, but when I use this as a noun and as a verb, the pronunciation is different. For example, when I use object as noun, I have to pronounce it as object, and as a verb, object. When I say crow grease, this is noun, and when I say grass is verb. Subject is noun, subject is verb. Increase is noun, increase is verb. Impart is noun, impart is verb. Perfect is noun, perfect is verb. Record is noun, record is verb. So we have to remember this. According to the pronunciation, we can identify whether it is noun or verb. This is a very important thing, that stress changes according to function here in language. Let us see the slight difference between British and English, American English. Four major differences are there. The first regarding pronunciation. In British English, N-O-W spelling is pronounced as now, and the same word is pronounced as now in American English. For example, see another word. We say schedule in British English, and the same word is pronounced as schedule in American English. So there is certain difference in pronunciation between both British and American English. The next is related to vocabulary. The British people say antenna, at the same time American people say aerial. And spelling differences are there. The British people spelled is C-O-L-O-U-R. American spelled it as a C-O-L-O-R, color. And grammar also, British people say the audience is present, and Americans say the audience are present. This is depends on the notion of the speaker. So these are the certain differences between British and American English. So what we are going to study with the help of English phonology, there is a magic question in our mind. We can develop our listening for an English. We can develop our listening skill. We can develop our speaking skill, spoken English. We can read English accurately with the help of intonation and stress that I introduce you. We can use intonation effectively while speaking. We can understand English literature in a better way with the help of a pronunciation, listening, and speaking. We can understand literature and language in a better way. We can understand English literary movies. We can understand the content, that what is going on exactly in the movie, because we study English phonology systematically and scientifically. So it helps us, enables us to understand it. We can develop fluency in English, and we can gain mastery over English. So these are the skills that we gain. Here is an extract in transcripted English. I read it just for practice. It is given in J.D. O'Connor's book of Phonetics and Phonology. You're a gardener, aren't you? Do you know anything about busy lilies? About what? Busy lilies? What on earth are they? Oh, I thought you'd know. They're houseplants. I've just been given one by my sister, and I want to know how to look after it. I'm afraid I don't know much about houseplants, but I got a book somewhere that might help. Let's see. Ah, yes. Here it is. The Clue of House Plants. That look useful. Do you happen to know the Latin name of it? I'm afraid I don't. Busy lilies. The only name I have heard is the reading. If we read English transcription, it helps us to improve our tongue habit to speak the correct English, accurate and exact English. As I told you in the very beginning that I'm not perfect in English, language and literature and phonology. I'm still a simple student. But so many lot of things I have to learn from my friends, from the teachers, and from my students also. But I'm going in the direction of the progress and towards my destination to use the language in an exact and correct way. Let's have a fleeting glance on the second sample of reading the transcription of English. I need a couple of shares. Great Carolyn, please. Certainly, sir. I'll just get some out. Would you mind taking a seat for a minute? I shan't be long. No, don't be too long. I haven't very much time. Very good, sir. Here is a nice shirt. We sell a lot of this one. Do you know? Yes, it's the sort of style I want, but I search for gray. This is purple. Purple, sir? Surely not. It's what we call silver blue. Well, it looks purple to me. Anyway, I'd like something a little less bright, more like the one I'm wearing. Oh, that's sort of gray. I haven't seen that for years. So in this way, it appears, means we can come close in for foreign English, what we say. I humbly cite you a few books for reference for your kind perusal, books of phonetics for the reference. The first is what we treat as a Bible as students, Spoken English by R.K. Bansal and J.B. Harrison. The second book, English Phonetics for Indian Students, written by T. Bala Subramanian. The third, Better English Pronunciation, written by J.D. O'Connor. And the fourth, Spoken English by M.K. Mishra. So let's conclude. Here are select International Institute of English, the first University of Oxford, University of Cambridge, and Harvard University, which are imparting quality education of English to the students. And India also, select universities are there, University of Delhi, Kolkata University, and Institute of English and Foreign Languages, which are located at Hyderabad. So these are the select institute. Thank you very much for your patient listening. Thank you very much once again. So I humbly request the organizers, respected Mahajan sir, is there any query, any question? We can discuss it.
Yes, thank you very much for your fantastic speech, fantastic presentation.
Yes.
Wonderful presentation, sir. Thank you very much. Now I request Umesh Pradhan sir, as Dr. Gokhale is busy with another program, another webinar, because today is the inauguration of EMELTA's Satara chapter, and Dr. Sridhar Gokhale is busy. He was in the meeting up to 5 o'clock. Now, recently he joined that meeting.
Okay, okay, no problem. No
So
problem.
now over to Umesh, Dr. Umesh. Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Atul Suryavanshi, sir. It was a very informative session on phonology, and you had a very interesting demonstration in phonology. The different aspects of phonology you have explained, and not only clarified how it's to be done, but then you have actually presented it for the teachers. I feel that all the teachers should take the advantage of it, and they should pay attention to the right kind of pronunciation. Because if the teacher goes wrong, as we know, all our students are going to get wrong. There is something, as I always say, Indian English. And we will have to respect that Indian English as well. We had a British expert, and she said that you need not copy the British RP. You are the Indians, and you should continue and go ahead with your accents and your way of pronunciation. But at the same time, I am very much with Dr. Atul that we have to go for the excellence. We have to go for the nice sort of thing and presentation. And even if you are not going to go abroad, you should learn the right kind of pronunciation. And moreover, if you go wrong in pronunciation, the meaning itself goes wrong, and there you have to be more attentive. Therefore, Dr. Atul has very nicely demonstrated all those uses and the way in which everything is to be done. As far as the secondary schools teachers are concerned, I feel that even if you go for a simple dictionary, you will come across the right kind of pronunciation. And most important thing is practicing that daily. You keep your cameras open, record your own voice, and see how, check with yourself how you are speaking. And that would really give you a nice sort of feeling of how you go about. I'm sure that the generation has changed, improved quite a lot, and certainly there is a change in their way of using English. The simplest way of improving your pronunciation, I would suggest, is that go and see the movies, because the most important part is ear training. If you train your ears for the right kind of pronunciation, it would immediately reflect on your tongue. You need not have any course. You need not go for any classes, tuitions for that. Just simply go and enjoy English movies one after another. And after 10th movie, you will find that you have improved your pronunciation. Thank you, Atul sir, for your lovely studious presentation.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you very much, sir. Now, I request the participants, if you have questions, you can write in the chat box, or you can use the raise hand option. You can ask your questions directly to Dr. Atul. By the time Sanjay sir and Ashfaq sir will go for the Facebook questions and chat box questions. Yes, but if you have any question, ask your questions.
Here are two questions from Facebook.
Yeah.
Firstly, Palve sir,
Hmm.
Sharad Palve asks, how to train students to master correct pronunciation after they have studied it in a wrong way till 10th standard?
Okay. So you got the question, no?
Yeah, yes, sir, definitely, sir.
Yeah.
You know, this is a very general scenario in a rural area. Even we also face the problem that how to teach the right pronunciation to the students. There is tussle also. Most of my colleagues and the teachers and the students say that we have to use Indian English here in a rural area instead of emphasizing an RP. But a language should be spoken in its pure form, as a respected Dr. Umesh Pradhan sir told me. So, though, as I told you in the very beginning, that I'm not perfect in English, but we are on the way of destination to going in the direction of progress. If the students are pronouncing the wrong word, for example, I cite my own example. I was in 5th and 6th standard at the time. My teacher told me walked and talked instead of the right pronunciation, and for so many days we pronounce it in the same fashion, in the same manner. When we go to the linguistic community, when we means in receive the opportunity to visit foreign country at a time, it looks very absurd to use such pronunciations there. So our emphasis as a teacher, that teach your students right pronunciation. Don't go with the theory in detail. Don't teach them anything related to the theory, but correct their pronunciation. I cited you the example of the word tortoise, which is not tortoise in fact, which is tortoise. And most of the students and the teacher are still pronouncing it as a tortoise, but it is our duty to correct them. Listen, beta, this is not tortoise, this is tortoise. The correct pronunciation is tortoise. If we do this, then we can enhance the standard of education and standard of English in the rural area, and this is dire need. So leave the cobwebs that whether it is right or wrong, we have to be excellent. We have to raise the standard of education in rural areas. So, and so is the platform here. And so is the reason we are interacting here. So I request all the teachers to teach correct English to the students. Thank you.
Yeah, Ashwini Indurkar ma'am. Unmute your microphone and you can ask your question. Ashwini Indurkar madam.
Yes, sir. I would like to ask that the phonetics is not included in the course. So how students will understand that? It becomes difficult for the students to understand.
Yeah. Ma'am, I humbly request you that we should not go to the theory directly, remember. Means don't deal with the theory to the students. Don't tell them that this is what we say accent and intonation and all that. Please only correct the pronunciations. If we offer them the correct pronunciation, they can understand it. As my mother taught me when I was a small child, say baba, kaka, baba, like this. You know, the teachers are also our father and mother inside the classroom, and this is the duty of the teachers. I mentioned you the very simple example. I was in 1st standard, and my teacher taught me a poem. जात कोणती पुसुनका धर्म कोणता पुसुनका उद्यानातील फुलास त्याचा रंग कोणता पुसुनका. I confuse regarding the word pusunaka. Pusunaka means exactly what? I was under the assumption that a teacher has written something on the blackboard, and the teacher is insisting that it is written on the blackboard, please pusunaka, pusunaka. Hey, it was the duty of the teacher to told her that pusunaka beta, that means don't ask, विचारू नका. असं त्या टीचरने आम्हाला सांगायला पाहिजे होतं ना 1st स्टँडर्ड मध्ये. आम्हाला कसं कळणार होतं? And so is the reason, you know, our duty is not to go in detail regarding the theory. The theory and all these things, these details are for the teachers to study. Our work is to only introduce them the correct pronunciation. If they are saying onion, tell them, beta, this is not onion, this is onion. Okay, that's it. It's so simple. The teacher will learn exact pronunciation, though this is not the part of the syllabus at the lowest level. You know, we have to, as I told, I repeat, we have to enhance the educational standard regarding English. And so is the reason we are here as teachers. And the experts like respected Umesh Pradhan sir and respected Gokhale sir are continuously guiding us, the teachers, in the right direction. As I told you, I'm a simple student. So I hope that your doubt should be clear. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, we are trying now.
Okay.
I'm very much with Dr. Atul sir. All the teachers should keep in mind that practice is more important. You are the role models. You need not give any lecture, theoretical lecture on how to go about what is accent and what is diphthong and triphthong and stress and intonation and all such details. But you as the teachers of English should be in know of all these details, first of all. And then practicing it is more important. That if you say that in a particular tone, in a particular manner, say for example, as Dr. Atul has said, college. So if you start saying college, I'm sure your students will also start saying college. But if you start saying college, definitely the students are all going to repeat the same kind of pronunciation. So the teacher's responsibility is to make use of right kind of pronunciation, or to go about for the right kind of pronunciation without making any fuss of it. And at the same time, uh, it should not appear artificial. It has to be natural. When I say Indian English, I say it has to be natural English. Otherwise, if you start following the British accent, our children and nobody else would be able to understand it. It would be just a sort of a show off. And of course, I'm not for this show off. You go for English, which will be easy, but at the same time, yes, as Dr. Atul sir has said, the right kind of things. Go for more close, and even more close to the right kind of pronunciation. Yeah. So you will not have any lectures on any sessions on what is phonology and what is phonetics and what are the phonetic shifts and so on and so forth. Because if you give them special English, they are all going to learn that in their SY and TY and so on and so forth. So it's very essential that you make right kind of pronunciations and stress and all these things. Otherwise, you will be misunderstood in the community that speaks English.
Thank you, sir. Geeta Lohar, ma'am. Hello, Geeta Lohar, ma'am.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, all of you. Sir, I have another this one by some confused I have. So you have told only this one division of consonants, voiced and voiceless. Another kind of division is there on the basis of place of articulation. Maybe I am remembering only three. That is bilabial, fricative, and glottal. It means some two I didn't remember. Okay, sir. Is it? Am I right, sir?
Yeah, you're right. You're right. You know, there
Yes,
is.
sir,
Yes, let me tell you, there is place of articulation and manner of articulation. This is a theoretical part. I have dropped it. I have omitted it in my session because we have the limitation of the time here, and yeah,
thank you.
and more than that, this is the basics of phonology. But you're right. We should study this also. The place and manner of articulation. For example, per and ver, they are bilabial plosives like this. You're right, ma'am.
Oh, Sureka, ma'am. Hello.
Surekha Mulge, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
I want to ask one question, that is, which dictionary should we follow to get proper pronunciation?
Oxford Dictionary. Oxford.
Okay.
Yeah, Oxford
Sir,
Dictionary is a standard.
Thank you, sir. Here are some foreign Facebook friends with us, and they are also asking questions to you, sir. Here is Shabir Ahmed from Egypt. He says, how can speaking dictionary help improving students' pronunciation?
Which one? Speaking dictionary.
Speaking dictionary.
Yeah,
How it can help students to improve their pronunciation.
Yes, exactly. Now we have online dictionaries with us. We have Wikipedia. We have YouTube as the best source. When I perform my research, these things, one in FlipNet, Information of Library Sciences Network is there in Gandhinagar, Gujarat. So we can access all the theses on the internet itself. So it saves our time. In the same way, we can seek the help from internet, from YouTube, and from all these online dictionaries to improve our pronunciation. We can listen it. So it is easy now. When I feel problem while pronouncing certain words, I search it on online dictionaries also, in Oxford Dictionary, on YouTube. I trace the pronunciation. And there is means at the higher level, there is means tussle or conflict in BBC scholars also regarding the pronunciation of the certain words. But it surely helps. So we should seek help from internet sources. Yeah, useful, in fact. Thank you.
Okay, sir. On Facebook as well as on chat box, Zoom chat box, so there are many questions regarding how can we improve our students' pronunciation. And there is one more common question everywhere, which is the reliable resource for developing pronunciation of our students. Is there any book or how can we access
Yeah,
it?
in my presentation, I mentioned the 4 books associated with English phonology. I request all the teachers of English to go through all those books. We can improve our theory, we can improve our pronunciation, but if we want improvement in the student, I request give them reading exercise. They will read something. It offers them tongue practice, tongue habit to pronounce certain words. If they are wrong, please correct them, tell them correct pronunciation, and so that we can improve them. Give them a passage to listen in foreign English so that their ears have practice of listening the correct English. And in that way, they can develop the listening practice also, how to listen English, correct English, and then they can speak the correct English. Okay. So don't go in detail regarding the theory while dealing with the students, but I request all the teachers to please refer these books for better pronunciation.
Raju Kore, sir.
Raju Kore sir is raising his hand.
Yeah.
Yes.
Unmute yourself, sir, and ask your question.
Yeah.
Kore, sir. Raju Kore, sir.
A little louder, sir.
Hello, Chavan sir. Hello, Sanjay sir. Are you there?
Yes, yes, yes.
Go for vote of thanks.
Yeah, the repeated questions are there.
Yeah, questions are there.
Repeated. Same
Okay,
question.
forget it. Then you can go for the vote of thanks.
Shall I conclude?
Yes.
So this was 96th webinar of EMELTA, and the speaker, Dr. Atul Suryavanshi, sir, from SS.
Little louder, sir. Little louder.
Yeah, okay, sir. Okay. Can you hear me now? Hello.
Yes, you are audible, sir.
So it was 96th webinar of EMELTA for the teachers of Maharashtra, and we are happy to have Dr. Atul Suryavanshi, sir, as today's speaker from SSMM College, Pachora. Very happy to listen you, sir. Everyone, still the people are joining. The room was full at the beginning and in the middle up to the end. And so the people were trying to join. So really our ears got too much to listen you on English phonology and pronunciation. It was fantastic session, as Dr. Pradhan, Sahibra Mahajan sir and teachers mentioned in their chat box. So we are happy once again. I would like to, and it is very useful for the teachers to develop their pronunciation too for the students. Also, a very wonderful thing that we heard from you, that was transcripted extract. That was fantastic thing, sir. Thank you so much. So on behalf of EMELTA, I express humble gratitude towards you for your valuable time that you shared with us, with the teachers of Maharashtra. And I wish you all the best for your further study and further innovations in English language. Thank you so much. I also express my humble gratitude towards Honorable Dr. Umesh Pradhan, sir, our mentor, our guide. Thank you so much, sir. He is always there. He guides us, he motivates the teachers and everyone. Thank you, sir. I also express my humble thanks to Honorable
Thank you. Thank you.
Dr. Gokhale, who was there in the beginning and now he's busy with some another webinar. Thank you so much, sir. I express my humble thanks to Honorable Shaileja Mule ma'am, all the dignitaries who attended today's webinar, the teachers who asked their questions, who just took part in the session actively. Savita Patil ma'am, who introduced today's speaker very nicely. Thank you so much. I express my thanks to our President Saibra Mahajan sir, Honorable Manoj Naikwadi sir, our Joint Secretary Ashfaq Kaji sir, Mohan Kolte sir, Saili Mahajan ma'am, who is on Facebook, and all EMELTA committee members. Thank you so much. And all the friends who participated today's webinar on Zoom and Facebook. Thank you so much, friends. Thank you so once again. Over to Mahajan sir.
Thank you, Sanjay sir. Now, the announcement.
Yes.
Dear friends, today we have already completed 96 webinar, and very soon we will be for the 100th webinars. And please, we are going to announce two more. We will declare two more announcement on that 100th webinar. So till then, just wait. Very soon we will be on the platform again on EMELTA for 100th webinar. Speakers like Dr. Atul and so many dignitaries are there with us. And thank you for joining today's webinar. Now I declare that today's webinar comes to an end. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Atul, Dr. Umesh Pradhan, and all the participants.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Two people are waiting. Yeah.